Hello everyone, welcome to the session of Design of Machine Elements 1. I am Purushottam, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, Maharaja Institute of Technology, Mysore. So in the previous session, we learned how to find out the N1 and N2 values. So N1 and N2, that is, so the number of rivets which is subjected to single shear per pitch length, which is called as N1, the number of rivets which is subjected to double shear per pitch length, which is called as N2. So we found out the N1 and N2 values for different cases, that is for example, single riveted lap joint, double riveted lap joint, triple riveted lap joint, and single riveted double cover plate butt joint, double riveted double cover plate butt joint, and triple riveted double cover plate butt joint. So in this session we are going to design a riveted joint. So for this I have taken this case. First I will read out this problem. A double riveted lap joint is to be made between 9 mm plates, and if the safe working stresses in tension, crushing and shear are 80 Newton per millimeter square, 120 Newton per millimeter square, 60 Newton per millimeter square. So for this respective case, we need to design a riveted joint. So what they are given? They are given a double riveted lap joint. So that means we need to design a double riveted lap joint. So that means two rows of rivets are used to make a connection between two plates. So the plate which is having a thickness of 9 millimeter. Then they are given the safe working stresses for this joint in tension, crushing and shear, which is 80 Newton per millimeter square, 120 Newton per millimeter square and 60 Newton per millimeter square. For this respective condition, loading conditions, we need to design a riveted joint. That means what we are going to do in designing of riveted joint? We are going to calculate the diameter of the rivet hole as well as the diameter of rivet and the margin and pitch, transverse pitch as well as the efficiency of the joint. So before that, first I will extract the data. So what they are given? So they are given a double riveted lap joint. So first I will make a note of this. They are given double riveted lap joint, and is to be made between 9 mm plates. That means in lap joint the plates to be connected or overlap each other, the both plates which is having a thickness of 9 mm. So that is thickness of main plate which is 9 millimeter. Thickness of plate is 9 millimeter. T is given. Then if the safe working stresses are given, that means they are given safe working stresses for tension is 80 Newton per millimeter square. Safe working stresses for in crushing is sigma c. I will denote by using sigma c, which is 120 Newton per millimeter square, and safe working stresses in shear, which is I will going to denote by using tau, which is 60 Newton per millimeter square. 60 Newton per millimeter square. So these are the given data. So for this given data, we need to design a double riveted lap joint. So for this, before this, we need to draw the front view and top view of this double riveted lap joint. Just because what we need? N1 and N2 values. So for this, I am going to draw front view and top view of double riveted lap joint. Here in this case, before drawing this top view and front view, they are not mentioned which is chain case or zigzag case. So they are not mentioned in the problem statement. So this double riveted lap joint which is having chain case or zigzag case. So if they are not given, so I am going to assume so the double riveted lap joint which is having chain case, assuming chain case condition. So I am going to assume the chain case condition for this respective problem. So first I will draw out the front view. So here I will start from here. So this will be the one plate, so which is having some caulking or fullering process to make them as leak proof. So this will be the another plate, okay. So these two plates which are connected by using two rows of rivet, just because they are mentioned which is double riveted. So that means, so which are connected by using two rows of rivet. So this will be the first row of rivet in the front view. This will be the second row of rivet, okay. Then I am going to draw out the axis of these rivets, axis for these rivets, okay. Then I am going to ax this one. So this will be one plate and this will be another plate, and this one, this thickness, plate thickness which is given by small t, and this one, the below plate, this will represent by using Ti, thickness of inner plate, Then the distance from center of rivet hole to the nearest edge of the plate, which is given by margin M. Then the shortest distance between two successive rows of rivet in multiple riveted joint, which is given by transverse pitch. This will be the transverse pitch. Again, from center of rivet hole to the nearest edge for this edge, so which is given by again margin. So this will complete the front view of the double riveted lap joint. Okay. Now for this I am going to draw the top view. So for this, so now I have written the front view of double riveted lap joint. For the top view, you can see this. So the top plate which is having lesser length or shorter compared to the bottom plate, hence this plate is fully visible, and the longer plate which is behind the top plate, so this will be this portion which is invisible here. So I am going to draw this one. So the top plate is fully visible. So first I am going to draw the top plate on the same projection line. So this will be the top plate. Then here this will be the bottom plate which is having more length compared to the top plate. Okay, this will be the invisible line, so which is covered by top plate. Okay. So now plates are over. Now on the same axis of the rivet, I am going to draw the rivets. This will be the first row and this will be the second row. On the first row, so we have to use minimum 3 number of rivets. So this will be first, second and third. So this will be the first row and this one second row. 1, 2, 3. So now what we need to calculate? We need to calculate the N1 and N2 values. N1 means what? N1 is the number of rivets which is subjected to single shear per pitch length. N2 is the number of rivets subjected to double shear A per pitch length. So as we know that in lap joint, so there will be no case of double shear, hence N2 value which is always equal to 0. N2 value which is always equal to 0 in the lap joint. As well as what I told, in lap joint thickness of main plate which is equal to thickness of inner plate. So this will be the thickness of main plate, this will be the thickness of inner plate. In lap joint, both the plates are main plate. Both the plates are main plate, hence T which is equal to Ti, hence which is equal to how much? 9 millimeter. 9 millimeter. Now what we need to calculate? N1 value. So for to calculate the N1 value, we need to take the pitch length. So pitch means what? The distance between two centers of consecutive rivets in a single row. In a single row. So the distance measured from ear to the ear. So this will be called as pitch. This distance which is called as pitch. Now, so N1 is number of rivets which is subjected to single shear per pitch length. So number of rivets, this will be the pitch length. So for this I am going to take, so this will be the pitch length. So now I am going to calculate how many rivets are present within this pitch length. Okay, I am going to add this one. So here we can see of, this will be the of, and this will be another of. That means in this pitch length, the number of rivets which is subjected to single shear, which is of plus of plus of plus of. So totally 2. So N1 value, we found out the N1 value which is equal to 2. That is the number of rivets which is subjected to single shear in double riveted lap joint, which is equal to 2. So once we finish this step, then we can move on to the design of riveted joint. Now, so the first step is, so we need to calculate the diameter of rivet hole. Diameter of rivet hole. So that is which is denoted by D. Which is denoted by D. So this one which is given by equation D which is equal to 6 root T to 6.325 root T. So this will be available in the data handbook. The equation number is 5.11D and page number is 81. Page number is 81. So now I am going to substitute here D 6 root T. What is the value of T here? Thickness of main plate 9 mm. 9 to 6.325 root T, that is 9. 9. So if you simplify this one, then you will get 18 to 18.975 millimeter. That means the diameter of the rivet hole which is within this region. So which is in between 18 to 18.975 millimeter. So to get the standard value of diameter of rivet hole, I am going to refer table 5.3b. 5.3b. So which is in the page number 84. Page number 84. So if you look into the table 5.3b in the page number 84, then you will have the standard diameter of the rivet or rivet holes. So in this we need to take the standard value that should be within this region. So that means if you check this, then the standard diameter D you will get 18 millimeter. The standard diameter of rivet hole, that is you will get 18 millimeter. So if it is having 17.9 also, which is not acceptable. So which is having 19, which is not also acceptable. So the range should be 18 to 18.975. That means we need to choose a standard diameter value that should be lay between these two values. Okay. So from this we get the diameter of rivet hole is 18 millimeter. Then the second step. In the second step, we are going to calculate the pitch which is denoted by small letter p. Small letter p. So now the pitch equation, in generally the pitch equation which is given by N1 plus 1.875 N2 times of pi d square tau divided by 4t sigma t plus d. So this will be the generalized equation which is used to calculate the pitch value. So which is also available in the data handbook. So which is equation number 5.12a, page number 81. Page number 81. Now I am going to substitute the values here. So if you observe this equation, so in this equation, so N1 value which is known. So from the figure we calculated the N1 value and N2 value also, then D, that is standard diameter of rivet hole which is just calculated here, then tau, that is the shear stress which is given data, then T is the thickness of the plate which is also given data, sigma T is the working stress in tension which is also given data, and D is also known. So all the terms are known, then we can easily calculate here. Now I am going to substitute here. N1 is how much? N1 is 2 plus 1.875 times of N2 is how much? 0. Then pi d square, d is 18 square, tau is 60, then divided by 4 times of t is 9 mm and sigma t is 80 Newton per millimeter square plus d, that is 18. So if you simplify this, then you will get pitch value which is equal to 60.41 millimeter. 60.41 millimeter. So this will be the generalized expression for the pitch, but according to IBR means Indian Boiler Regulations. So the pitch equation which is also given by K1 times T plus 41 millimeter. K1 times T plus 41 millimeter. So which is also available in the data handbook. So which is given by equation 5.12b, which is available in the page number 81. So if you observe this equation, here T value is known, thickness of the main plate, but K1 value, the value of K1 which is unknown. So the value of K1 which is going to calculate by using table 5.4a, page number 85. So the table which is in page number 85, if you look into it, so in the column which is having the number of rivets per page and the K1 for lap joint, K1 for single cover butt joint, K1 for double cover butt joint. For the given case, they are given the lap joint. That means we need to look for the K1 for lap joint, So then, which is also having the number of rivets per pitch. So for example, this will be the table. So here, which is having the number of rivets per pitch. Here K1 for lap joint, Here the number of rivets per pitch, for this case, that is double riveted lap joint. For this double riveted lap joint, which is equal to 2. So that is nothing but the value of N1, the number of rivets per page, so which is equal to 2. So if you are finding any difficulty to choose this value, then so from the table 5.1, if you look into that table, then for the single riveted lap joint, what should be the number of rivets per pitch? It's given. For the double riveted lap joint, the number of rivets per pitch also given. You can refer the table. So you can refer 5.1. So which is in page number 84. From this table, you will get the number of rivets per pitch for the double riveted lap joint. If you look into it, then which is also 2. Then now from the table 5.4a, so the number of rivets per pitch is 2. So the K1 value for the lap joint, which is given by 2.62. 2.62. So now I am going to calculate the pitch value again. So pitch is given by K1 times of T, that is K1 is 2.62, T is 9 plus 41 mm. 41 mm. So if you simplify this, then you will get 64.58 millimeter. 64.58 millimeter. So if you observe this, so we got two pitch values. So this will be from the generalized expression, this will be according to the IBR. So we need to choose the less among these two values. We need to choose a pitch value which is having a least value. So from this pitch value which is given by 60.41 mm, so that is approximately equal to 61 millimeter. 61 millimeter. Out of these two, we need to choose a minimum pitch value. So from this, pitch is given by 60.41, which is approximately equal to 61 millimeter. Now what we found out? The diameter of the rivet hole, so this one, as well as the then pitch value. So diameter and pitch value, those are known. Next, so we move on to the calculation of transverse pitch. Transverse pitch. So the step number 3 is to calculate the transverse pitch, so which is given by PT, so which is greater than or equal to 2 times D. 2 times D. So which is also available in the data handbook. So equation number 5.14a, 5.14a, page number 82. Page number 82. So that means we are going to calculate this distance, that is the shortest distance between two successive rows in a multiple riveted joint, that is transverse pitch. So now I am going to calculate this one, PT, transverse pitch, which is given by, here greater than or equal to is there, I am going to use equal symbol, 2 times of D. So that is 2 into diameter of the rivet hole. Standard diameter of the rivet hole is 18. So from this you will get 36 millimeter. 36 millimeter. Then that is transverse pitch, which is also over. Next I am going to calculate the margin. So distance between center of rivet hole to the nearest edge of the plate, which is called as margin. So margin is given by, fourth step is to calculate the margin, so which is represented by M, which is given by 1.5 times of D. 1.5 times of D, which is also available in the data handbook, equation number 5.16, page number 83. Page number 83. So from this I am going to calculate the margin of this value. Now which is given by M, 1.5 times of D. D is 18 millimeter. Then you will get 27 mm. 27 mm. That will be the margin. Then fifth one, what should be the length of the shank? So this will be called as shank. So what should be the length of this shank? So length of this shank is given by, length of shank is given by L, Here you can see this, I am going to calculate the length from ear to ear. So which is given by, now from ear to ear, this portion to this portion is called T. From ear to ear is T. From ear to ear is T. Now I can write it as 2 times of T. 2 times of T. Then I need to consider this distance as well as this distance to calculate the overall length of the shank before this dumbbell shape. For the snap edge rivet, which is given by 0.7 times of D. This length is 0.7 times of D. So for the safety purpose, we are going to take 1.5 times of D to 1.7 times of D. Length of the shank is given by 2 times of T plus 1.5 times of T to 1.7 times of D. So finally, which is given by 2T plus, I am going to consider this first one, 1.5 times of D. So 2 into T is 9 millimeter, T is 9 millimeter, and 1.5 times of D is 18. Standard diameter is 18. From this you will get, simplify, you will get 45 millimeter. 45 millimeter. This will be the length of the shank. Next, so from this, margin is also over, then length of the shank is also over. Now we are moving on to check the efficiency of the joint. So step number 6 is efficiency of joint. Efficiency of joint. So in this, so we need to calculate the efficiency of plate and efficiency in crushing as well as efficiency in shear. Out of these three efficiency, we need to conclude the least value will be the efficiency of the joint. So the first one out of these through the plate efficiency, so which depends on the tensile strength. The plate efficiency that is epsilon T, that is eta T, which is given by pitch minus diameter divided by pitch. So this will be the equation which is available in the data handbook 5.9E, equation number 5.9E, and page number 81. Page number 81. The equation is given by P minus D by P. Now plate efficiency which is given by P is the pitch value, which is 61 millimeter, then D is the standard diameter, that is 18, again pitch is 61 mm. If you are going to simplify this, then you will get 0.7042. So into multiplied with 100, then you can get in percentage, that is 70.42%. 70.42%. Okay. So this will be the plate efficiency. Similarly, we are going to calculate efficiency in shearing, efficiency in crushing. So while finding efficiency of the joint, first we found out the plate efficiency, which is 70.42%. 70.42%. Again, so we are going to calculate the efficiency in shear, just because the riveted joint which is going to fail in shear mode also, shear, crushing as well as the tearing mode. So based on the tearing mode, we calculate the plate efficiency. Next we move on to the efficiency in shear, which is given by this equation, which is also available in the data handbook, that is 5.9F, page number 81. So now I am going to substitute the values here. So efficiency in shear, which is given by pi by 4 d square, that is pi by 4 d square. D is the diameter of rivet hole, that is 18 square. Then N1 is 2 for this case, plus 1.875 times of N2 is 0. Then tau. So the value of tau is 60 Newton per millimeter square. Then divided by P into T into sigma T. P is the pitch value, which is 61. T is the thickness of the main plate, that is 9 mm. Sigma T, which is given by 80 Newton per millimeter square. So if you are going to simplify this one and multiply with 100 to get in percentage, then you will get 69.52%. 69.52%. So this will be the efficiency in shear. So similarly, next we move on to calculate efficiency in crushing. crushing, which is given by this equation, which is available in the data handbook 5.7, page number 80. Page number 80. Now I am going to substitute the values here. Efficiency in crushing, which is given by N1 into Ti divided by T. So in the lap joint, as we know that T which is equal to Ti. T which is equal to Ti. So N1 is 2, Ti is 9 divided by T is 9 plus N2 is 0. Then sigma C. Sigma C is given by 120 Newton per millimeter square divided by, so N1 into Ti by T, that is 2 into 9 by 9 plus N2 is 0, then sigma C is 120 plus sigma T. Sigma T is 80 Newton per millimeter square. So if you are going to simplify this, then you will get 75%. That is, when you are going to multiply to keep in percentage, then you will get 75%. So now what we got? So we got plate efficiency, that is 70.42, shearing efficiency is 69.52, then crushing efficiency is 75. The efficiency of the joint, so we need to take the least value among these three efficiencies. The least value among these three efficiencies. So out of these three, so we are having 69.52. This will be the least value. So the efficiency of the joint is given by 69.52. For example, if you are taken the efficiency of the joint is 75%, the more value, then you are design the riveted joint, but within this efficiency range, the riveted joint which is going to fail in shear, just because the shearing efficiency is 69, but we designed for 75. So without that, the joint will not fail until 75, but at the 69 itself, due to shear, the joint will be fail. So for this reason, we need to choose the least value among these three efficiencies. Then we can ensure that this will be the correct one, the efficiency of the joint which is within the correct region or not. So by using table 5.1, page number 84. So in this table they are given the range of efficiencies for different cases of riveted joint. For example, single riveted joint, this will be the range. Double riveted lap joint, this will be the range. So here the given case is double riveted lap joint. For this, they are given the range as 60 to 72% will be the efficiency of the joint in this table. For the double riveted lap joint, they are given 60 to 72 will be the range of efficiency of the joint. So the calculated value, from our calculation we got efficiency of the joint is 69.52. So this value which lies between this range. Hence we can conclude that the designed riveted joint is safe. So what we did, so based on the double riveted lap joint, so we are extracted the data, then we drawn the front view as well as the top view. From that calculated the N1 value, N2 value, then by using some equations we have calculated the diameter of rivet hole, pitch value, transverse pitch, margin and length of the shank, and based on these equations, so we calculated the efficiency of the joint.